With the Katrina-level federal incompetence in North Carolina, the New York Times is panicking that, quote, economic turbulence could sink Kamala's campaign, handing the nation to MAGA fanatics who want to seize the federal government and make it leave you alone. The article laments that we're seeing October surprises, but the wrong kind of surprise for the New York Times liking. So instead of wall-to-wall coverage by salivating left-wing journalists of Donald Trump's banter, instead the New York Times is worried we're getting a war in the Middle East that could send oil prices soaring, a port strike that threatened to cripple the economy, already old news, and a hurricane that revealed in horrifying detail how rotted out our America-last federal government has become. The Times laments, more in anger than sorrow, how all of these unlucky breaks are hitting just when, quote, American policymakers were gaining confidence they had successfully tamed inflation. They are particularly worried about oil, since politicians have known for a generation that gas prices make or break an election. As I've mentioned in recent videos, how oil prices had been coming down because of the looming recession. So recessions can cut oil prices in half since less stuff is being produced and less people are driving. Indeed, just in the last 3 months, oil prices had dropped from $86 a barrel to just $66 as jobs numbers trumpeted the coming recession. But all that changed on October 1st when Iran launched nearly 200 missiles at Israel over the Hezbollah offensive, sending oil soaring more than 8% in a matter of days. So why did oil soar? Because one thing the Ukraine war showed us is it's really easy to destroy energy infrastructure, even for a third world military like Ukraine, meaning Israel could turn off Iranian oil exports at will. Now, on paper, Iranian oil exports are large, but they're not that big. Formally, they're number 16 in the world at about 900,000 barrels exported per day, which is just ahead of the UK. But that 900,000 is just a fraction. So last year, Bloomberg estimated that Iran actually exports over 3 million barrels, most of it illicit, to get around U.S. sanctions. That would put Iran at number 6 in world exports, just under half of what Saudi Arabia exports. Of course, it's not just Iran. The country of Iraq exports even more oil, and it has, thanks to the U.S. invasion that empowered Shiite militias, become deeply aligned with Iran. So Iraq is staying out of the fight for now. But if that changes, perhaps because Iraqi popular opinion forces it, we could be looking at a Saudi Arabia worth of oil coming offline. Now, the last time that happened was the 1990 invasion of Iraq, which drove oil prices from $41 a barrel to $94. The fun does not stop there, because any war with Iran probably means they close the Persian Gulf by blocking the narrow Straits of Hormuz. That could, in theory, deliver something closer to 1970s oil embargo, when inflation-adjusted oil went from $25 to $152 per barrel. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. With an election that's just 30 days away, the New York Times is right to be worried as FEMA's clown show marches on and the Iran war drums beat. Of course, given the Biden-Harris administration are the ones who gutted FEMA to pay for illegals and set the Middle East on fire by emboldening Hamas and Iran, that would be some well-deserved karma. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.